So it's Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by my good friend, former British Commonwealth and European champion, Wayne Alexander. Wayne, how you doing, mate?
Hello, Mr. Flexen. I'm good. How are you? Long time no see.
I'm very good, mate. I'm very good. Coming off a huge weekend for boxing card at Wembley Stadium. We will talk, of course, about Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois in a few
Yeah.
moments, but we'll talk to you a little bit about the undercard as well, because there was a couple of big fights at middleweight on there, which wasn't too far from your old stomping ground. Hamza Shiraz, probably the best win of anyone on the undercard, got rid of Tyler Denny in very quick fashion, surprisingly quick, I thought. What did you make of Shiraz's performance?
Like you say, I was very surprised how quickly he ended it. I thought it was going to be a very tough fight. I think I might have slightly favoured Hamza to win, maybe on points or a very late stoppage. I had it as a good test for him. You know what I mean? I was a little bit surprised when the fight was made. I thought maybe give him another fight or two. So I was definitely surprised at how he just blew him away. He looked leagues above, didn't he? He looked at a different level. And
He's
I rate. Go on.
he's an incredibly rangy puncher, Hamza
Yeah.
Shiraz. Very big for the weight. Actually used to make your weight for a little while, super welter, and then eventually outgrew it. How did you used to find that in your day, fighting guys who were bigger, rangier? Was that a threat, or did you like it because you could get inside? What was the mentality?
I used to like getting inside. You know what I mean? The tall guys I used to prefer because I used to like working inside to the body, throwing the hooks. Most of the guys I boxed were taller than me because I wasn't very. I'm only 5'9". Most of the guys I fought were like 5'11", maybe 6 foot. So I wasn't a big like middleweight. So I got used to fighting guys that were taller and rangy and working inside. I prefer the taller guys than the short, stocky ones. They're harder to put down, aren't they?
With Tyler Denny, very good fighter, was on a great run of form. He
Yeah.
wasn't struggling so much just to get inside, but he was struggling to get there without taking big shots on the way in. And his head movement's very good. What's kind of the secret when you are fighting someone so much taller and rangier?
Head movement. Jimmy Tibbs and John Breen, taught me to move your head, keep moving your head, because obviously a taller opponent is going to try and keep it long. That is his plan, to keep you at a distance. What you got to do is keep moving your head and stepping forward. Don't be at arm's length. Always be inside arm's length. Easier said than done. But I thought Danny would have put up a better performance, and I thought he would have worked inside. And he looked like it was an off night. Not giving him no excuses, but he looked like he wasn't him. Do you know what I mean? On the night, he might have froze, the nerves might have got to him, but he didn't look like the Denny of what I've seen in his last 2 or 3 fights.
Do you think Shiraz can now make that leap? Well, it's not so much of a leap, but that step to
Yeah.
world level now?
Well, he is world level. You win the European title, you are top 10 ranked as a world. In most of the body, so he is officially in the top 10 now. So he's down to his team around him to maybe still get him a couple of even a European defense, and maybe even a top American name. But I don't think he should fight for the world title yet. He's still got time, hasn't he? There's no rush. But again, if the money's right, he can still go for a shot, can't he? And he's still got years left, so he's got a lot of time in his hand.
And the other middleweight fight, we saw Josh Kelly, he was supposed to be fighting Liam Smith, who had to pull out
Yeah,
not too far away from the fight date due to an illness, I believe, and ended up getting a late substitute in Ishmael Davis, unbeaten fighter, ambitious. But Kelly
yeah.
just it was just a step ahead for most of the fight. I know Davis came on strong in the last round, but it seemed like maybe a little bit too late for him. What did you make of their performances?
Yeah, it was a good strong fight. I was impressed with Ishmael. Being given a fight at such short notice, he done well. He said, that he's always in the gym, and that is a good example of somebody, for young fighters to keep in the gym. You never know what might happen. I must admit, I never really heard much about him until he was given a fight. I'd heard his name, but I didn't really watch much of him. And I watched him over the past week, and I was impressed with his story and his boxing ability. So he done very well. He put up a good performance. The scoring was a bit bad again. One judge giving it the other way, but it was a good test for Josh as well. He's a good fighter, quality, got a lot of natural talent.
And now to the main event. We obviously didn't talk too much about the fight before it happened, but who was your money on? Who were you predicting was going to come out on top? You can be honest.
Be honest, listen, I was going for AJ. Yeah, I was going for AJ. But I thought if he gets stopped or KO'd, I wouldn't be totally surprised. So I'm not one of the guys who said I told you so. If I don't bet on boxing really, but if I was to bet on it, I was going to bet on AJ. I see that Triple D was a big underdog, wasn't he? So I could see some guys must have won some money on Saturday, but I had AJ to win it points or late stoppage. I thought Triple D could only win it by stoppage, not on points.
Were you expecting Dubois to start as fast as he did? AJ's team after the fight said they were expecting it.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, listen. Throughout the week, Triple D looked very confident. There was no nerves at all. He looked very confident. You know what I mean? So I wasn't surprised that he came out. He came out steaming. You know, AJ's been down before. He's been hurt before. So a lot of people think that he hasn't got a chin. So the best thing to do is jump on him. And I was surprised that he done that.
And some have said that AJ never fully recovered from the first knockdown early in the fight. Do you go along with that, or was it the constant pressure really that undone him?
Nah, definitely that first knockdown took all the wind out of him. Again, he didn't look the same. He didn't even coming into the ring. He just didn't have that killer instinct in himself. You know what I mean? He didn't look like he was the AJ of old. And that first shot, his legs went. He was fighting like he was very very wary, very very almost scared. You know what I mean? Timid. You know what I mean? He didn't want to get involved, did he? He wasn't the AJ of old.
Why do you think that was? Is it just a case of getting older? Is it because Dubois hurt him apparently in sparring once years ago, or new style, well, not new trainer anymore? They've been together a few fights now. What do you think is the reason behind his approach?
You know what? Only he knows. But you know what? I personally think from the Ruiz defeat, he hasn't been the same. And I'm an AJ fan. I actually wanted AJ to win the fight, but I think from that first defeat from Ruiz, he has not been the same. He's there to be seen, isn't it? He looks, a little bit gun shy. He doesn't want to get involved, does he? And a lot of fighters, have been knocked out and are never the same again mentally. And it seems to me that he's very wary of getting knocked out again. And when he got caught, and put down, he might have had flashbacks of what happened in the past, and that could have been it.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the biggest punches he's fought. I mean, arguably the
Yeah.
biggest, depending on how you rate the version of Vladimir Klitschko that he fought at the time. Is it just the case now that that'll always be his approach, perhaps, against a big puncher?
I believe so. Again, I'm an AJ fan, but I believe, it's in his head, that he's been hurt and knocked out before, and he's always going to be worried about it happening again. And like I said, when he got put down in the first round, he just, he didn't recover, did he? Basically, he didn't recover. Every round afterwards, he was on shaky legs. I waited to win the fight. I'm an AJ fan from when he went to the Olympics. I was a fan of his, but it just seems that he's a little bit gun shy, to tell you the truth.
And while there were clearly flaws in AJ's performance, we can't undervalue how well Daniel Dubois did. What impressed you the most about his performance?
Um, his confidence, just the confidence coming into the ring. You know what I mean? Yeah, there was no fear there. There was no fear at all. And like you say, the first round he just came out guns blazing. He never had no fear about getting hurt or knocked out. And he was a champion, but he fought like a champion. You know what I mean? He didn't fight like somebody who was a challenger. He fought like a confident champion. He looked very confident.
Yeah, it was a great performance, I thought, from Dubois. He's now going to wait probably and see who wins the rematch between Fury and Usyk. Maybe look
Yeah.
for the winner of that. But Eddie Hearn said after the fight there is a rematch clause, and he expects Joshua to exercise it. Uh, if you were in Joshua's team or a good friend of his, what would you be advising him to do next?
Do you know what? Seriously, I'd have a good consideration about packing it in. You know, he's a two-time heavyweight champion. He's made bundles of money. How long has he been pro now? 12 years. Yeah, 12 years. And he's had a long career. He's had a long, hard career. He's beat the best around. I would suggest really think about what you should do next. But if you just fight again, go for the rematch. Go for the rematch straight away. Don't forget about all these 10 rounders and warm up fights. Go straight back in for the rematch. When he got knocked out by Ruiz, people said, retire, and he came back and beat him. So it's not an impossible task for him to come back and beat the boys, but he'd have to, have his head, mentally right for that fight.
Do you think strong consideration of retirement? I mean, he's obviously stayed on so long. I suppose he wants to become a three-time world champion,
Yeah.
which if he beats the boy in the rematch, he would. And also resurrect that Tyson Fury fight, which now seems quite far away again. Would you, on the balance, would you think there's more to gain from staying or more to gain from retiring at this point?
Good question. Good question. Probably for him, there'd be more to gain by winning the rematch. He comes back and he beats the bias. He can say, well, I had an off night and I'm the better fighter. So for him, it'd probably be better for him to come back and fight the rematch. I mean, the Fury fight now is just like it's a fight that really I don't know if it's going to happen again. Do you? Him and Fury, I don't think that will happen again. I mean, I doubt if Fury's going to beat Usyk, but that's another one where Fury's got to get his mind right for the fight. So time will tell. Time will tell. In this game, anything can happen. This time next year, AJ could be champion again, couldn't he? And Fury could be champion, and that could be the biggest fight in British history again. Do you know what I mean?
In the loss to Ruiz, obviously he was doing quite well. He steamed in to try and finish the fight, got caught, and then it completely
Yeah.
turned around. Against Usyk twice, he was pretty, comprehensively outboxed, certainly in the first one. Is this a different way of dealing with defeat? Because he was beaten up really for 5 rounds and stopped. So he's not been outboxed. He's not been, caught with a big shot when he was winning the fight. This is kind of a pretty, drubbing, if anything.
That's what I'm saying. It's the way he got beat is devastating, isn't it? Because in his mind now, even though I don't want to say he's gonna think in his mind, am I Chinny? He's gonna think, well, it's happened twice now. You know what I mean? I was put down 4 times in 5 rounds. In the back of his mind now, he's gonna always think I'm suspect, I'm Chinny. So this is definitely a make or break fight. I mean, his next fight, he could go in the ring even worse mentally, couldn't he? Once the bell goes, and it's him and the opponent, straight away he's going to think, I don't want to get hit. I'm scared of hitting it. So I think he has to get his mind. It's his mind that he has to get fit more than his body, I believe.
How much can that change, especially when you're at the latter stages of your career?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Like the mental side of things, because obviously you can learn new
Yeah.
tricks, you can change your style, but mentally, how much can that change when you've already had X amount of fights, world titles, Olympic gold?
Like I said, it can go either way. I mean, I believe he believes he's hungry. He still wants to fight, doesn't he? That's the main thing. He said he wants to fight on. So, um, age is just a number, isn't it? If you're hungry, it doesn't matter how old you are. Do you know what I mean? So, it's all down to him. Like I said, he could go in the ring next time and say, you know what, I'll stick in one more shot. That's it. It's over. You know what I mean? So it's all down to him and his mentality. But like I said, the older you get, the wiser you should get. So, hopefully he's got the right people around him that would advise him to do the right thing.
And tell us, what are you up to at the moment? Are you still Britain's hardest white collar referee?
I'm firm but fair, mate. Listen, yeah, I'm still on the white collar circuit. Season just started this month, so I've got a busy season ahead. Um, I'm still a full-time parent to my daughter, 12-year-old. She's in year 8 now. And now she's older. You can get back onto the security scene, the CP work, close protection work. So I'm busy enough. Life could be a lot worse. I'm still a boxing fan, as you know. They had a good time on Saturday. It was a great occasion. And they say what they say, the best man won on the night, didn't they?
Do you ever look at it now, like you said, a great occasion? Do you ever wish,
Yeah.
you'd have been born 20 years later? Because obviously, someone with your style, exciting, domestic rivalries that you had as well, it'd have been even bigger now, wouldn't it?
And the money as well. Don't forget
Well,
the
yeah,
money.
I thought I'd let
Because
you
I would
mention
love
that,
to
but
be,
yeah.
yeah, I'd love to be around there. I would love to be around there. Fighting in Saudi Arabia. For them big purses. Social media is blowing up boxing, sport. You know what I mean? So it would have been mega to be fighting in and around now. But I had a decent career. I can't complain.
One of the best British boxers to never win a world title. You're often mentioned in those conversations. You go along with that?
I'd have to agree. Yeah, listen,
Yeah.
I'd have to agree. Again, part of it was my own lack of dedication and commitment. So, you know, I didn't have the opportunities that a lot of fighters have got today. But I fought for the world title, so that's the next best thing, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you were a bit unlucky, weren't you, in that your big shot, when you were near to your prime, came at very short notice against Harry Simon.
Yeah, like, I gave it my best shot. I believe, if I was fit, I would have definitely given a much better performance. Harry Simon himself, me and Harry speak, and Harry tells me that that was his hardest fight. Whenever he puts his fights out, he always puts out a mile against him, and he says, "I am the artist. I'm the only guy that hurt him really in the ring." You know, so that's the way it goes. Look at Harry. Harry could have been a Hall of Famer, but things happen. Sometimes you need a bit of luck as well, don't you?
Do you keep in touch with most of your opponents, former opponents?
No, tell you the truth, no. You got me there. A few amateur guys who I boxed. I speak to a few, not many pros, not many of the pros. Got me there. OJ Abrams, I spoke to for a while. We was close really up until a few years ago. OJ Abrams, who else? Who else? Who else? Paul Samuels, I saw a few times after I fought him. But no, not really, not many, not many. No. Takaloo, I've seen Takaloo 5 times probably in 20 years. You know, it was our 20th anniversary last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure you look forward to that a lot more than he does. But
Yeah, yeah, mate, yeah. It's good to watch it again. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's not really a boxing fan, is he, Tackle? He's not really
uh,
as much involved in it as I am. And also he's all the way in Margate as well, isn't he? He's not like London based. Again, through social media, I do speak to a lot on social media as well, but not I don't see nobody.
I should ask actually before I let you go, being a South London boxing icon, what did you make of Joshua Buatsi on the card?
He done very well. I've known Josh since he started boxing. South London Victory. I know his old trainers. And yeah, I followed him from the amateurs, and I was very very pleased for him. I thought it would have been a harder fight for him. So it's either Hutchinson didn't fight as well, or West, like it leagues above him. I thought it would have been a harder fight. I didn't win in I didn't win in probably 9 of the 12 rounds.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that judge gave one the other way. I mean, that was unbelievable. That was unbelievable. But you know, um, I like his style. I like the way he operates in and out of the ring. He trains hard, then he lives the life. And I wish him all the best. I genuinely wish him all the best.
Great stuff. Mate, really appreciate your time. Let's do this again soon, maybe ahead of the Bivol Beterbiev fight next month.
Definitely, mate. I look forward to it, mate.
Cheers.